In this example, we have two joint products and a byproduct. A byproduct is a unit that happens as a part of the normal manufacturing process, but doesn't have the same value as our joint products. So we can get money for selling it, but it's not as much as we get for our normal joint product. So when we're looking at this example, we're going to use its net realizable value for byproducts and our joint byproducts. So when we're looking at joint product allocation under net realizable value, we have our byproduct, which is J37. And we look at what is the sales value of our byproduct. Well, we produce 30,000 units at 70 cents per unit. So 30,000 times 70 cents gives us a sales value of $21,000. The final sales value of our main products, so we have 660,000 times $5.85. And here we have 225,000 times $6.25. Make those columns bigger to see the final amounts. And our separable processing costs from up here. Total amounts. And total net realizable value, which is our final sales value minus our processing costs. Then we have the net realizable value of our byproduct, which is $21,000. Okay. We're not going to dispose of it, so our net realizable value is the full $21,000. When we're getting ready to do our joint costs, which were $1.4 million, one extra zero in there. When we have a byproduct, we subtract whatever money we make on the byproduct from our joint costs before we allocate them. So byproducts help offset the number of joint costs that we're going to allocate based on byproducts. So we are going to determine what our allocated joint cost amount is going to be based on our percentage. So we need our percentage amount. We take total amount by its realizable value. We're going to allocate our cost based on our percentages. We have our additional processing costs. We add our allocated cost plus our additional processing costs, and we get our total cost, manufacturing costs for each product. Then if we divide by the total number produced, we get our manufacturing cost per unit. Then our next question is, should H35 be processed further? So we have our per gallon sale after additional processing. So that is $6.25. Our per gallon sales value at split off, I think I forgot to type that. Oh, no, here. Sales value at split off is $4. So our incremental sales value per gallon equals $6.25 minus 4 is $2.25. Our additional processing cost per gallon, so we have additional processing costs of 525,000 total, and we make 225,000 gallons. So our additional processing costs per gallon are $2.33. So if we take $2.25 minus $2.33, we find that we're actually losing 8 cents a gallon by further processing. Therefore, H35, we make more money selling it off at its split off than we will if we further process. The next couple of examples are looking at, instead of numerical amounts, we're looking at some different information about these amounts. So in this first question, we're looking at the recession from 2007 to 2009. So in the construction industry saw a decline in demand for paper products and increased demand for reduced carbon emissions. So we have significant changes took place in the harvesting and processing of wood products. The demand for lumber for construction decreased and the demand for alternative fuels increased. The result is that the timber industry in the southeastern states and some western states began to emphasize the production of a timber byproduct in wood pellets. Wood pellets are made from the waste of the sawmill process. That is, the tree tops and the knotty or crooked limbs are processed into finger-sized pellets, which are then used to replace coal in power generation plants. This is true in European countries that have taken stronger steps to produce green energy. So the pellets are considered a sustainable source of energy because the trees that produce the pellets are replaced by other trees, and the growth of trees removes carbon emissions from the atmosphere. Some environmentalists argue that the use of pellets is carbon neutral, more so than the use of coal. Coal is 1/3 the cost of wood pellets, but strict emission requirements in the European Union are causing power plants in the EU to shift to wood pellets. So what this asks then is, should the wood pellets be accounted for as a byproduct or a joint product? Well, they are a byproduct. The main product and the highest value product in the timber industry is lumber for construction. The pellet production is made from the sawdust. So in accounting terms, this would be accounted for as a byproduct and not a joint product. Second, we look at the sustainability issue for the production of wood pellets. What are advantages and disadvantages in the use of wood pellets in power generation as a replacement for coal? So we have environmentalists that argue that wood pellets are a green source of energy. However, it takes 54 years for a new tree to consume the carbon emissions of a single tree burned as pellets. Others argue that use of timber for pellets helps to preserve the forest. So if we continue to use the land to grow then harvest trees, this means land is not converted to other types of agriculture or to urban expansion, which has the effect of decreasing the carbon reducing forest. So in the US, this argument is that um, the use of wood burning stoves in the 70s and 80s was on the rise because oil prices were more expensive at that time. So wood burning took over as a approved heat source. Then wood burning stoves were a significant source of air pollution and their widespread use was discouraged. So when we talk about sustainability versus climate change versus global issue, then we have to say which is better, coal, which is not sustainable like wood is because we can't replant and grow more coal like we can grow more wood. However, there's arguments that burning wood creates more air pollution than burning coal. So which one is a bigger problem? Well, unfortunately, this is not the most easily answered thing. So most of the current demand for wood pellets is from European countries. So if we were looking at the wood pellet things, is would we change our answer if we used the wood pellets in the US instead of shipping them to the European Union for use there? It doesn't really change our answer as to what should wood pellets be accounted for as a byproduct. They would still be accounted for as a byproduct because they're not of value like the timber is.